Start recording. I forgot to start recording, of course.
Well, that's
Hello.
good.
Thank you for reminding. So welcome to the class. Today we will talk about love and its languages, like what kind of, each person has a different languages that he recognizes love. There is a beautiful book, very popular. It's already 20 years old book, published and republished many times. It's a 5 languages of love, and it's Gary Chapman. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend, and even more, I recommend to listen audiobook where Gary Chapman is reading it. It's like, it's really pleasure just as an entertainment as well. He is amazing. So we will, today, we will discover what kind of languages we can express and what kind of expression of love we can give and what do we prefer for ourselves. So we'll see how it's working. Today, I invite you to create an experiment, like as always. So it's my own way to work with this topic and see how it will be beneficial for everybody. So before I start even talking, I invite you to pick 5 colors, any 5 colors that you like, any shade. So pick what you want, like any colors, just 5 of them. And on separate page somewhere, just make a mark. Let's do it this way. So I will say a word and or affirmation, and you will pick the color for it. So quality time. So pick the color that will represent quality time. It will be, next color will be gifts.
Next color will be what?
Gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah. The third color will be acts of service. The number 4 will be touch. Yes, I believe it's touch. Physical touch, yeah. And last but not least, it's words of affirmations. Words of affirmation. Okay, so we set aside these 5 colors. We will use them later, but before we start, we will just talk a little bit about love and activate this topic in our neuron system. So see what kind of emotions and what kind of associations we have related to the love. So it's really just preparing for this class. There is a very simple, very quick quiz on the internet, and the link will be in info box for those who are going to watch it. It's a 5 languages, love languages quiz. So you can research it. It's a very simple, and you can test your children, teenagers, singles, and people in a relationship. I tested everybody in the family. And it was very interesting to see how we are different. There is a 5 languages, as you could expect already. I named them. Like first is words of affirmation. When people experience love from somebody, when they praise you, like when they praise, when they acknowledge what you achieved, what you've done. So there is a really expressing their love through words. So it's one of the like very common. Next is acts of service, like when people is doing stuff, like if you do something for a person, they recognize it as an act of love. And it's not necessarily something big. Sometimes like you help them with chores, sometimes you help them like something unexpectedly, you take some their chores and do on their behalf, so and they recognize it as an act of love. Quality time, when we want to spend time with somebody, like we love to be in not interrupted environment, and your spouse or your partner or your parent doesn't really chat all the time or send, like check their mail and text messaging, but pay attention, fully pay attention to you. So it's very important to spend time, like when, even if they want to help you with the house, they will want to do it with your present, and like they really activated by present of another partner. So it's very important for them be together. The fourth will be gifts. How we expect, sometimes some people, not everybody, some people expect gifts as acknowledgement of love. They could be expensive, they could be free. It's really the money is not criteria, but gift as a symbol of love. And gifts could be flowers, it could be cards, it could be some bakery, some just a small acknowledgement that you spend some time to surprise your partner. And the last but not least is a physical touch. We sometimes, some people really recognize that physical interactions, like hugs, just touch, like kiss. We don't really talking about sex, but it's about be around another person, like really embrace them for reason or not, publicly or privately. Like this is really what they're looking for as an expression of love. And when we're young and in love and like dating, all of them like usually present all five of them, but after after some time we expect one or two of them be dominant, and this is what matters to us the most. So today we will draw mandala of love and see which one is important for you, which one is dominant for you. So I will switch. Before we do it, as always, I invite you to do 2 minutes exercise just to see what kind of associations we have related to word love. Because sometimes we have quite strange associations, and it's interesting to see if there is any limitations. Here it is, like I found my piece of paper finally. So I will set up 2 minutes timer, and you write down all associations, all words that coming to your mind when you hear the word love. I will do stopwatch. Okay, are we ready? 2 minutes, and we were talking about love. So what your subconsciousness wants to show you? Okay, love. Words can be repeated. take 1 more minute. Okay, that's it. 2 minutes up. So take count your words. How many do you have? Two. Okay, I have 32 words. How many do you have?
I have 18.
Okay.
And it's actually my lucky number. I mean, I love this number. But I didn't
Good.
like count.
18 is a good number. There is all reasons to love it. See if anything really, what kind of words dominant in your list. If there is any negative words or negative associations you have, or maybe unusual associations that you did not expect. So just take a look. Don't try to analyze it much. Take a look, make a check mark. Okay, so for some reason I have association this with word love, with this feeling. Like for me, such a unusual word is the word strange. I don't know what is the strange about love. Maybe you behave strange. We'll see. I'm just check mark. Okay. And there's many words about joy and happiness. Yeah. This is my associations. If you have very strong negative words like fear or pain or there will be many people seeing this video. So if you have such challenging words, I highly recommend to do algorithm releasing inner constraints when you do catharsis and transform it in something more positive, because there is some blockages in your perception and need to be taken care of. So this is your list, just a reference for you, and we activate it. Pay attention. What do you feel now when you see all those associations? How is it really resonates with you? Does it really makes any sense or doesn't? Or like maybe it's something that you are not aware of. And I will switch camera and we will start drawing. And I will just talk more about love languages as we go. So I have my 5 colored pencils on the side. I hope you can see. For some reason it's a little bit dark today. Let me see if I can.
Anna, can you list the types from the beginning again?
From the beginning. There is no specific order, but I can.
Oh,
wait.
okay. Well, the
But
order
I can.
you said originally, so I can pick out the colors because I got them.
Okay. Okay. So the way that we colored was quality time, gifts, acts of service, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So today we're going to draw Mandala of Love. So I invite you to draw, like you can use a compass if you want, or we can just do it by hand. And you can use a pencil at the beginning or just a marker right away. So we start drawing like this is you. You are the heart of mandala. And we need to create 5 circles around it, like donuts. They can be not perfect. It will be okay if they need some adjustments. And you just draw these beautiful circles around you. We need 5 circles. So 1, 2, 3. I need 2 more. I'm surprised. I'm almost like very nice circles on my side. Again, you can use compass if you want, or you can just do it by hand. I did not use compass today. And this is our mandala in the middle. This is our heart. This is what makes us experience love and express love. This is the core of our satisfaction, of our joy. And everybody has all 5 languages. For some of them could be very minimal, but some of them could be like dominant, and this is what we experience. So some of this, you can be very, how to say, like very open to receive, like when you express your love in some way, like let's say like gifts. If you're giving gifts to everyone, this is a symbol of your love. This is how you express your love, and you expect that people will pay you back with their love, like that they express love the same way. So they will give you more presents as well, not as a pay you back and like send you away, but as a way to express their love. And it's the conflict happens when your language of love, the dominant language of love, has minimal impact on somebody else. They don't recognize it as love and they don't express it. So you can give gifts to everybody in your family, and if family does not recognize gifts as act of love, it will be wasting, and there will be not much satisfaction for them, because they may be looking for quality time, or they may be looking for acts of service, or maybe words of affirmation. For like there is a different desires and different needs. So before we can try to change or not change, like we don't try to change anybody, before we try to understand how we interact with anybody and what's the problem in this interaction, we need to understand what do we expect from other people. And we expect from other people based on who we are. So it's again, as anything we do in Neurographica, we look inside of us and learn who we are and how do we act. So now I want you to take all your 5 colors that we had, and without really looking into your list that you created before, try to see which color wants to go on which ring, on which circle. See how it wants to be placed. Some of them could be on the biggest one, some of them could be on the smallest one. So
but we're looking at the colors of pencil and we just try to decide which color.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I believe that our subconsciousness will give us some advices, like guidance, what we really want to use the most. So see which color wants to be on. And you can just color a little bit. You don't have to be coloring the whole ring, but you can just express it a little bit as this goes on this ring and another color goes on another ring. So
and the bigger ring doesn't mean that it's more important than the smallest one, is it right?
So the biggest ring is, this is how is your dominant language is. This is how you expect that people express, show the way they love you. This is what matters the most. It's not, it doesn't mean better. It just, you will recognize it easier.
Okay.
So if for some reason, for some people, like if somebody says that they love you, that they proud of you, this matters the most than they give you flowers or gifts. So just priorities of yours. For different people, it will be different. So, and I just like invite you, just acknowledge a little bit. You don't have to color everything. We will color it much more later. So, but right now, just recognize which one goes where. So it's just like a sketching about what is going. Okay, so this is my sketch about my mandala. So I will do much more later, but see, you can take a look and see which language is really resonates with you, like which one is the outer one, which one you like the most. Like not like recognize the most, recognize easier, and you expect and that people will show you, and this is the way you try to express your love to other people. For some reason, like this is very important to understand. What do you like to do to express your love? And we are going to do, because it's a neurographic, it's not just mandala. So we'll take a marker or pencil. Oops, it's jumped out to me. And we start draw neural line. We start activate this mandala. We will color it later more. So this is just first is to acknowledge which feeling is outside. For me, the outer circle is words of affirmation. And it's really what makes me, yeah, I love when people, when my husband acknowledge with words and praise, and not just husband, but my parents as well. For me, it's important. For other people, maybe not so important. And I start activating this mandala. I'm activating and I round. So it's very gentle. You can activate each circle separate, because each act of love, each language, we have it inside of us. But there is always some dominant, something that is really stronger, presents stronger in our life, in our perception of love. So there is no bad or good languages. They just different. You cannot say that Russian language is better than English. It's just different language. serves different people. And this is important to recognize that somebody's language is as important as yours. And if you want to understand, first of all, you have to understand what is your language of love. And next, you recognize the language that your partner is talking, or your child is talking, or maybe your parents are using that language to express their love. And like if you expected that your parents will give you gifts, when for them act of love is an act of service, like it's just a different language they talk. They love you, they show it, but you don't understand it because it has very little impact on your life, like this on your perception of love. It's really, you don't recognize it as an act of love. If you wonder what will be the language of love for your partner, try to remember what they complain the most or praise the most. So it's always interesting how they always talking about what they expect. And we usually experience it as a blame or complaint, but this is really a way to calling for love, calling for sometimes quality time, for gifts, for words. Like if it's a words of affirmation, you can complain that your partner doesn't praise you, doesn't give you any compliments, doesn't acknowledge you. So it's very important to speak the language that other people speak. And you start expressing. So this is an activation of this mandala. Each layer just represents a different language of love. Some of them you expect more, some of them are very little. What I like when I tested my children, I was very surprised that, for example, for my older son, the language of gifts mean nothing, like completely, it's a zero. So he does not need any gifts, doesn't recognize them as an act of love. And for mother, for me, gifts, for example, are important. Gifts are one of the dominant languages in my perception of love, and we really speak different language, like, and how you can express your love if it means nothing to the child. So you really need to learn what your child speaks, what they expect. For some will be the same. For some there will be a hug, for some there will be words of affirmation, and maybe most of them are really like quality time is very important. Maybe it's not dominant one, but it's usually very important. And you can pay attention how children really try to express their love to you. If they bring you drawings and cards and flowers from the street, you most likely will be language of gifts. Again, the gifts can be very cheap or even free or handmade, but it's an act, symbol of their love to you, the symbol of that they thinking about you, that they really want to show their care about you. It's not just a gift card. It's really they put a lot of thoughts to make sure that they give you what you will be happy, that you will be using. So, and we activate it. So you can do activate this each circle, each language. And for yourself, because this is a mandala of yours, we start recognizing in some circles, maybe in some curves, some elements that will represent love, like some situation, some gift, some word, some fruits of love, like some, I'm not talking about children, but it's not just a theory about love, but how the love is really expressed. Like, for example, if you language is language of gifts, there will be a gift. If it's language of affirmations, maybe it will be a compliment. So draw them as many as you wish. See where there will be more circles, where there will be more opportunities to recognize this language of love, this acts of love. And they can be small, they can be big, they can be on different levels. And when you just sometimes people really speak so foreign languages that it means nothing to you, but you can at least recognize, oh, this person is trying to express their love. This is what is important for them. So accept it, because it will be not just annoying disappointment, but it's like you can be acknowledge that at least they tried. So this is an interesting opportunity really to recognize what people try to express and how they try to express, because it's so sweet. Okay,
those little circles that you just added, what they meaning?
Opportunities to receive love,
Okay,
to acknowledge love that is available for you from those people who are around you. They maybe express it not the way you want, but the way they can. So, and it's very important sometimes to tell your partner that, you know, I appreciate your words, but for me, gifts speak much more than words. Or for some people, it will be opposition. Like, you can save money. I don't cherish much gifts, but I can use and cherish your compliments. So when you remember, for example, like dating, what was the most exciting thing that your partners has ever done? Or like if we're talking about children, what kind of the best experience with your parents you had experienced? So all of this could be interesting. You most likely will recognize what was important for you and your dominant language. And it could be different. For some people, it could be memory of quality time. For some, it could be unexpected, exciting present. For some, it's like surprisingly compliment, or when somebody says like how they proud of you. It's different, and it has a different meaning for different people. So it's not bad or good. There is no judgment about it. It's just different, and we have to accept the fact that we are different people and we like different things. So draw more opportunities to recognize love in your life. And what was interesting, like I knew, like I read this book like years ago, and for my husband, the quality time is his prime language. I knew it, and really, I did not understand at the beginning why everything he is doing, he expects me to be present at that time. And it's the book really explained it a lot, made a lot of sense. And if you don't, like if your partner expects something that is foreign for you, you can do some effort to learn it, because this is the language that they speak. They need to, you need to use their language, not yours, to show their life, because effort to show it in their language is already an act of love. And you kind of give them benefits without like really trying to recognize, instead of just, oh, they so trying, like you can really express the love that they will recognize, and show them the love to you as well. It's very important. Like it's and it's, I'm not talking just about relationship with our partners, but with our kids, with our parents, with our companies as well. Like if you always sending money, but like bonuses, but for some people maybe compliment and written acknowledgement will be more meaningful than money. And we need to be very aware that we need to speak the language that receiver recognize, because we want this message to be received. You know what you want to express, learn the way they will understand it, because it will be very hard to receive if you don't know what you want to express and they even speak different language. You have to be attuned to their recipient device, adjust to their database, that they will be connecting this event as acts of love. Okay. I'm like paying so much attention to each. And I highly recommend to do this simple test to see what is your act of love and what is your family members. It's very interesting. See how is it accurate. I have to say, like I took twice my own test, and I have 2 prime languages, and each time they shifted. Like at the beginning was one, and second time it was another. So they're very close. It was not significant, but there was some adjustments with second results. And for some people, some languages could be really zero out, like they still be presented. There still be, they can recognize it, but it has a very little impact. There is very little effect on them. As I said, for my son, for example, gifts means nothing. He, even for his birthday, he does not recognize like the value of the gifts. He accepts them gratefully, but not really get excited or remember them, because they just mean nothing to him. And it doesn't mean that like we are, he's not grateful. It just means that they mean nothing to him, that's all.
So after you noticed that, did you change the expression of love for this elder son?
Yes, and it's yes, especially for me, that when I start like stop asking like what kind of gifts you want. Like I stopped really impact, give a lot of meaning to gifts, because he does not recognize this meaning. So why should I really? But another thing that for me as a mother, for him, to explain that other people need gifts. This is a very important gift for them. Like, and because when we something not important, especially if member of the family is a saver, so they like try to save all this money to some future, potential future, they will not really spend much time and money to buy gifts. And you have to explain this in the situation that gifts are important. It's not investment in some things that you're buying, but it's investment in your relationship. You expressing your love through gifts as a symbol of gifts. It doesn't mean that your spouse is just looking for money. Gifts could be different, and you just express it, like maybe one flower a day or a week can be already do the trick. And it's not necessary you have to do it like every day or even every week, but just pay more attention to unexpected surprises for your wife, for your husband. So it's very important to learn what your partner, and for kids as well. Kids are sometimes you give and give, but for them quality time is usually dominant. Not usually, like I take the statistics. Statistics is really just based on my family. For my kids, quality time is one of the most important qualities. And maybe you praise your husband and wife a lot, but like if you, for them, the prime language is act of service, the clean dishes may be worth much more than just 100 words. Like or if you do some chores, if it's mean a lot to them, you'd better do it without complaining, without asking, just as a gesture of love, like just to express. your attitude. Like one of my major languages is love or gifts. And it doesn't mean that I love good gifts. There will be I will not lie about it. And I've noticed that, for example, when I'm going to visit my family, I pay so much attention to what kind of gifts I'm going to bring. And it's really when somebody say like, oh, like the best gift is my presence. Like I'm going not to bring gifts, but to spend time with my family. I personally, for me, it's very hard to understand because for me, it's very clear that gifts will tell them how much I express my love. I never tested my parents for this, but I'm pretty sure for them will be acts of service is important, the most important, at least for my father. And of course, there is a dark side of this, like when we don't do something. This is another aspect that we can hurt somebody unintentionally, but when sometimes we don't spend time or ignore time when we with somebody, this will be people will be very upset with that you don't pay attention. Like for them, like if you don't spend time with them, it's just equal that you don't love them, that you don't value time with them. Again, it's maybe nothing to do with really feelings to this person, but just their perception to your showing something or don't showing something. Like we sometimes we screwed up because we've done something or we haven't.
So Anna, after you figure out that for your child quality time is really important, what did you change your expression of love? Like you spend time more with them, you go to movie?
Yes.
Or
not necessarily going to movie, but maybe like cooking together. Some evening family dinners will be very important for such children. Not just a quick snack, but really talk about each day, everybody's day, and for this particular child of mine, he loves to cook, so we doing cooking together. Like mostly my husband is doing like cooking, so with him. When I do cooking, I don't want anybody in my kitchen, but I created opportunities for my husband and my child to cook together because it's very important for them to spend time together and to accomplish something together.
And I have another question. How did you manage to set with them so they can draw and figure out what really important for them?
We did not draw. I just asked them to take quiz. Quiz is really 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So it's much easier. And when it's another thing that, like, thank you for reminding me that when you asking something to do for you, you can see which language is important for your child, and you will be as a gratitude, you can use this language. Like if there's quality time, you're asking to spend time for you because it means a lot to you. Or maybe you can be grateful with some small present, or maybe with for for youngest for him the most important is acts of services. So I always we have a contract sometimes, like he is helping me to do something and I cook his favorite meal, and this for him it will be very important because this he recognized as a act of love that I really want to show him my gratitude and my love. For another, could be this cooking really doesn't matter. So it's only for him it matters the most. Or I help to do something really that he cannot do. But I have to say I'm still learning. It's not easy. So I learn, I try, and I fail sometimes, as any adult, as any parents, as any partners, and you try again. And every time it's a little bit different. You can draw, ask your partner to draw this mandala and see what is important for them. Or you can just pay attention what is really like when they talking about you or about experiences, past experiences, they usually say it quite like loud and clear what they expect. And this is really usually in the language of their love. And it's so we're creating more opportunities for ourselves to recognize those acts of love, those messages of love that our partner try to express. And we try to express as well. Of course, there could be sometimes we have very opposite languages, and it's very challenging for us to express them in the way they expect it. But the reward is usually worth, like really sweet and important for every participant. So it's worth to try. There is nothing you can lose. And see if I have many small acts of love, like really, but many. I'm like really experience this bubble My mandala has so many bubbles. It's like very beautiful. See if any of those layers are you pay more attention. Some of them you can be just almost skipping. So see what really makes you slow down or take a little more time, more effort to experience. For me, this the last one, and it's actually the quality time based on the colors that I choose, and because this language is very important for my husband and for my children, and it has a very small meaning to me. This is where all challenges are coming, that you really need to work and invest your like be involved, like really it's invest your attention to it. Especially with when you're busy with something else, the quality time is very precious, very challenging to find.
I got a question.
Yes, of course.
So as I see, you spend a lot of time on Neurographica. So how does your family members accept that you don't spend time with them? Do they get jealous or whatever?
Of course they do, but there are some times when you have to invest in something that when you try to develop, not just as a hobby, but as a way of business and the mission. You can call it mission, or you can call just interest. And if it's really give you a lot of gratitude and achievements, like and learning experience. In this case, you can give some exceptions and be patient for some time. Like we still struggle with this because some days I'm very involved in all this I'm doing. But it's you have to understand like that for 20 years before, I wasn't so busy and I spent it enough time to express my time, and I was very supportive with everything that my husband was trying to achieve and achieved in life. So I think it's a very good opportunity to be on my side. Not always working as I expect, but it's a learning curve. So, and I try to balance. I'm like, I still cooking and I still do all this acts of services and spending time with as much as I can. But yes, there is some challenges there. No questions about it. I'm definitely trying to juggle all these things that I'm trying to do at the same time. Hopefully my August will be much simpler because I right now in the middle of graduation from one of the courses that I was taking for several months, and I already submitted all my paperwork. And it's I cross my fingers that it will be done and it will be much easier. So we'll see. This summer is different. Usually we travel a lot together. We have a beautiful vacation, and right now all like my son has internship, so he's working. My husband is working, and I am working. So maybe in the end of July, all of us will have a week off, and we will be able to have some time together. Not even without traveling, but just as a family, maybe some hiking and biking. We'll see. Seems like a good idea. We'll see how it will be implemented. With all this COVID-19, it's a little bit challenging. But thank you for the question. A good reminder. I remember my husband was my first student, one of the first, and we were drawing about health, and the whole course was dedicated to health and dealing with emotional stuff. And he like on our way home, he said like, we're drawing health, maybe it's time to go for hike and do something about it. Cannot say that he wasn't right. So you have to always balance what you can draw and what you just need to do some act. Some things you just need to do without really. There is a very simple solution for some issues. Okay, any other questions? What else you want to know about my family? I can tell you a lot.
No, it's not about the family, but I just, when you're talking, it just something coming into my mind,
Yeah.
like how I apply this, in my life, or what is
And it's really like when we're talking about the quality time, it's not necessary that you have to spend hours and hours with the family, but how you can be really invested in the family, or like in your partner or in your child when you are present. Like it could be only 15 minutes. But if you don't check your mails, your text messages, you set aside your phone, and how you can be really trying to express that they are focused of your attention, not somebody else. And this is even more important than just sit at home, be available and not available at the same time because you're always watching TV. So it's another question. So one of my solutions, like when we're going on a walk, I leave my cell phone at home, so there's no interruption for this purpose. And I don't know about you guys, but last 2 days, somehow it was very emotional for me. Somehow, like I feel there is some tension in the air. And it's the best I can do to take care and find the priorities in my life. Okay, so you can I can continue to really working with details and add more and more lines to activate more and more this mandala that I have. Or you can start coloring. See, express these colors. You may mix them, you can combine them. You can see if you have some colors can be extending from one layer to another. So they can be, one layer can be inspiring another. So it's interesting how it could be. Mixed.
So Anna, when you started, and you started coloring in the circles, I thought we were just picking a color, any color.
Oh, you did not took this 5 that we had?
So I think I'm just gonna switch what it means.
Okay.
Because
maybe it's just like the whole transformation.
Yeah, the color I put on the outside is definitely not my dominant.
Okay. But does it, maybe is it what you received the most? Maybe this is how people try to show? No?
Nope. It's probably the least out of all of them.
Interesting. Okay. It's remember, it's still be an experiment. I reserve my right to like that it can go south.
Yeah. Did you get a haircut or did someone cut it for you?
I had a haircut, yeah, with a friend of mine. She's the only master I trust my hair. I did like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and like I don't know, the time is already like running so fast. Feels like a long time ago.
Time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it's really true. And
even my Roku on my Netflix and everything, even that changed its own time. I didn't do that.
Really?
And I'm like, well, what does it matter? I'll leave it.
Yeah,
2 hours off.
Interesting. Yeah, like I have a different perception of time, definitely, and I feel like it's speed up so much. And it's already half of July. It's summer is. It's summer. Okay, so I will start coloring, and for me, so if you do this like sketching or hatching, it may create some anxiety, like when you have this many separate lines. So I usually go and smooth it out. Like I don't really try to use this hatching all the time. Very rarely. And I want to express it. And see, maybe some of these colors from your, even not from the last outside ring, wants to go externally. Like maybe it wants to be expressed more outside, or maybe it will be expressed more through elements, through circles. See what you feel to do. What is your desire? Another thing that my youngest son, brought the point to, that with different people you may express different languages. That you learn their languages and you feel comfortable to express some of yours. So it's not necessary need to be only this, but in general there still be dominant one is still be dominant, and you will like prefer one over another, but it's may have some different situations involved in aspects of it.
Anna, what does it mean? What did you say about dominant? The color was
So
dominant, or
the dominant is usually the one that you recognize easier, that you expect. It's like the language that you most familiar, that the way you will prefer to express it to other people, and you will be prefer that people express it to you through this particular language. Like if your dominant language is acts of services, you will be expect that people do what you ask to do, not to give you educational like lecture about it. It's like just do it, and it will be recognized as an act of service, as the act of love. For you, maybe will be different because you can recognize it like that you want to show them your love by spending time, but it's may have very little impact on them. Like if the spending time does not mean much to them, it will be very challenging for them to recognize that this is an act of love. They may recognize it even opposite, like sing like annoying that you don't do what you expect them to do. And blame them later for what they've tried to express. It's always, there is always a chance. Okay. And those circles that we have around our mandala, your mandala, can be different colors. It's not necessary even be colors of mandala. Maybe you want to use something else. Maybe you want to use completely different shades or different shades of the same colors, maybe more like brighter, or maybe instead some pale tones. Let's see.
but at the same time, people should always realize or always remind themselves that, oh, for this person it's time is considered, and for other, if it's gift, they always, you know.
Usually, if you do repeat it several times, if you recognize it several times, you don't have to remember it constantly. You will be kind of trained to do it. Like it's when you learn the language, you don't have to translate constantly from one language to another. After a certain time, it will be fluent for you. You will be very easily to express this language.
So do you enjoy, like if your child likes cooking, so do you enjoy the time that you provide your time to him?
Yes, yes,
you-
of course, yes, because
For-
I enjoy that I can express my love and he can understand it and he can recognize it. So it's not like it would be even worse if I would, I don't know, give him a present and for him it's okay and it's sit in the closet or in on a shelf without much use, and he would never recognize it as an act of love. But 5 minutes together or an hour together, it's maybe you like much more precious for him and for me as a satisfaction that goal achieved. He's happy, I'm happy, my message received, and everybody is experiencing it. Okay. It's definitely not natural for me at the beginning. So, and I'm still be at the beginning. So it's not something that I mastered. So we are just 20 years married, like for 20 years. There is a lot of time ahead of us, a lot of opportunities to learn language. It's not this book I received wasn't at my wedding, so it's a fairly new concept for me. That's why I'm sharing it with you, so you have more opportunities. And look at your parents as well. It's very interesting too. We always, like many children, complain that parents did not love them, but maybe just they loved it express their love differently, not as you expected. And it's easiest way, like when you what's to recognize it is see what your parent cherished the most, like when they pray, like when they praised you the most. So, and maybe it will be completely different concept, like, oh my, they really did everything they could to share their love, like, because this is the only language they could do it.
I want to share my experience.
Okay.
I figured out that the gift is important to me. So, and I do remember when I was my childhood, and we did a lot of presents for our parents. As you remember, in our daycare, we always do something with our hand, like handmade, because we couldn't buy it. Yeah. So, and right now, my son, he goes to school, and they always do the same for Mother's Day, for Dad's Day. They do those presents, handmade presents, and when I'm there, I'm like almost crying, and tears come to my eyes because, and I just it just reminds me I was doing those presents for my mom.
Yes, this is definitely the language of yours. And it's not really it's not a question of money. It's a question of how you invest your energy and time in even picking present or doing it yourself, or finding something on the street that can be, I don't know, like maybe you bring your wife a feather, beautiful feather, or a flower from a sidewalk, or from the garden. So it's not necessarily need to be something huge, but it will be very meaningful for the partner, unless the partner expects words of affirmation.
Oh, that's true.
And it's very interesting how it can be. Gifts are very important for me too. I'm like, if somebody would ask me, like, what was the best surprise that, or the best experience you with your family members, it's the best was like when my husband surprisingly purchased a very like expensive present, but it was not much about price, but that he invested his thoughts and like his energy in something important for me. And I was like, still remember it, even it was happening like long time ago already. Still be. He's not big surprise maker, but it was very important for me. I love.
But before we were doing this class, I didn't realize why it makes me feel happy and almost crying. Why? And now it's clear, because that person to receive not words of affirmation, but something that people doing with their energy and love and thoughts, Interesting,
really. And it's very inspiring, like you when you know that this person is not acting like, they usually just don't know what you expect. And they don't know because in most cases you even don't recognize what you expect. So it could be many challenges in miscommunication, because we are different, and that's all. And it's good that we are different, but how we can communicate, like this is really the question of communication. Okay, my Mandala of Love is a little bit intense. I'm like, really, there's so much colors. And if quality time is important for your partner or for you, it means that you will be spending more time with people that are important for you, not because it's not because you just need to do it, but because you love to do it. It's a different way. you really enjoy it. For you, it's love. It's a joy. It's a happiness, and I see that in my family, who my husband spends a lot of time with his parents, and as an act of love, like this is the way he expressed the love. For me, it's better like, what the list of chores I can do for you? Like, what do you need? And I will do it like easier.
Do you think it's something you learn, or like something in your upbringing?
There is some things, of course, you learn. Like, let's say, like if in your family nobody praised each other, the words of affirmation will maybe foreign and will be very difficult to learn from the beginning. But I don't think that sometimes maybe it not even depends on family environment. Maybe it's just a personality. For example, the children, my both children are have the same environment, the same parents. There was no much division. Of course, there is age difference, but their way to like experience love is different. Like they recognize different things. For both of them, quality time is important, but for one of them, like gifts is 0 out, for another is like on the 3rd place. So it's not just impacted by family. There is some personality involved in it as well, and I cannot really predict how or like explain how that really impacted, how is it really, what caused one language of love develop better and another is less. We'll see. When I will know, I will let you know. But it's you can learn at the adulthood some of those languages, and consciously, not just express your childhood experiences in it. And I believe that trauma can cause some adjustments, of course. And I'm curious, really, like even shopaholics, people who really shops a lot, if their language is gifts, and this is just for them the way to express love for themselves, like compensate the love that they desire. I'm like, this is a very abstract question, but I don't know if there was any research even about it.
It's so interesting. I for me, gift means a lot, but I'm not shopaholic at all. I don't like go shopping at the same point or at the same time. And I'm curious, like I have 2 friends, they are really shopaholics, and I'm like, what would be better for them to show them my life? Or that
I don't know. Maybe it's a very that's why it's a question. If there is any correlation, like if there is any connection between those two, maybe shopaholics are really looking for quality time, or maybe they really looking for the words of affirmation, and instead of shopping, because shopping is. It still does not satisfy somehow, because it's getting more and more without much control. And so I don't know. I love shopping, but I'm not a shopaholic. So,
But you're looking for satisfaction outside of yourself, I think, is the problem.
Yes, it's true. Okay. So how's your coloring? Do you like your mandalas?
I even didn't start it. I was drawing and drawing those circles.
Yes, it's a very, it's a really, the mandala is presenting energy in a shape, and you're just keep charging it, like with all the lines that we're doing. It's when we really try to explore all the possibilities, activate every hidden corner of love. And it's a very, yeah, it's very addictive in this way. So have fun. Don't rush. There is no way you need to rush anything. It's very important to spend enough time. Another question. It's interesting that sometimes people have the same language of love. Let's say act of service. Both of them recognize them as a dominant, important. But tradition and maybe family expectations may have a different impact on each other. And it's instead of really using the potential, like you try to repeat some family expectations, and it may go really wrong. Like because we instead of like doing things that another person expect you do it, you stop doing it because you don't see that it's just taken, you see it as just taken as granted without much as a recognition of love.
I know for me, I was a pretty lonely child, so quality time is really important.
So allow yourself, like on the level where you recognize the quality time, give yourself more resources, more opportunities to experience this quality time with somebody that you feel comfortable, that you feel safe. Draw more circles there, bigger circles. They can be big and go beyond the paper. See if it's if they make you feel more not like make you feel more, but give this love to yourself on this level. So quality time, give it to yourself. give yourself much more time. Take this opportunity to experience this way. Because this lonely child is still be somewhere in your consciousness. You still have this part of you. So give this child whatever it needs the most, to feel loved, to feel supported, to feel importance. So give it yourself. Like, we don't really need to find somebody who can do it for us, because we are adults now and we can do it for ourselves. And see how you are going to feel when you bring this more resources for yourself. And when you give it yourself, you will not looking for compensations from some other resources, from other people. Because it's very often we ask from some other people something that we missing, something that we have this, some people have a very big hole and we looking for other people to fill it, and it's impossible because they don't want to fill this black hole. They don't know how to do it. And it's really not their chore to do it. It's really not their duty to fill this, until you realize that the whole power is, you have the whole power. You can do it yourself. Everyone, we all have such challenges. From childhood, from already from the later years. It's Gary Chapman calls that everybody has a tank of love. And if tank of love is empty, you're kind of in danger position to drive this car. You will be, so you need to make sure that you find opportunities to feel it. Okay. And let's see. Pay attention how your body reacts to, sometimes when we're going to one area, it's maybe more tension in your body. Sometimes it could be less tension in your body. So see which one is yours, which, if you have such reactions, such experiences in your body, it's could be optional. There is no strict rule for everybody. So just observe if you have any experiences or not. And again, it's very important to understand what your children expect as a love language for them, what they recognize the most. Because if their language is words of affirmation and you constantly saying not praises, but opposition, like you complain and judge, and it will be express a lot of negativity through words, they will be very affected by it. It will be the most important for them language, and you use it to hurt them the most. So be very careful. Use it very consciously. But it's before use it consciously, you have to learn the language.
Anna, and the test that you were talking about, from what age children can take this test?
There is 4 different options. There is an option for relative, or for people in relationship, for singles, for teenagers. I believe it's from 10, 12, kids 10, 12 years old, and teenagers from 12 and beyond, or maybe 14 and beyond.
And you will provide this link in Facebook, or?
I can give it right now because it's open. So let me give you this simple link. It's really doesn't take much time. And where's the chat? So the link will be in the info box for those who are going to watch it. It's but if you can't wait, just Google 5 love languages quiz. It's available for free, and it's very simple. So I just did on a website. I did not download any apps from them, so it's working very easily. They just keep repeating this similar questions and collect the statistics and give you the result. Again, I have to say that I took twice this test, and the results were a little bit different, not significantly, but there was some difference between dominant one, because 2 of my languages are very close, and it's just showed that one was more first time, another was more second time.
And did you do it at the same time or twice?
No, one day difference.
Oh, okay. But do you know, is there any resources for different for Russian language as well, or only for English?
I believe there should be.
Okay.
I did not make any research yet. I
Okay.
have, but it's a very good question, because I have a Russian class in on Saturday in September. I hope it will be sooner. About 5 languages, and this is I need to do some research. Thank you for bringing this question.
Yeah, I just recently was talking with my cousin, and she has 2 daughters, and she said, like, the oldest one always keeps saying that you don't love me, or whatever, you know, and parents kind of frustrated. Why? Because they show love for both girls the same, but probably they
all different, like they expect different.
Yeah, just different type of love. So if I will find it in Russian, I can send her a link so she can better find the way how to express love.
Yeah. The book is really, like, right now is translated, I don't know, 40 languages or 38, something very like huge amount. So it's definitely, there is such a book in Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Chapman.
Anna, are you going to play any instruments for us?
I did not plan today, did not really, but I have one because we are working with Mandala. I can do some. Let me go back. Yes, Natasha, I found some tests. Maybe they're not so fancy, but there is some options. You can find it. There is a test in Russian as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
But the test should take children, not their parents. Parents should do it as well, but like not, they should not assume that they know the child well. So it's really the reason is how we can trust the children to express what they really, what it's matter for them. Okay, so you asked for music. I just realized how it's challenging to be quiet. I did not expect that I love to talk so much. like you haven't noticed it yet. I was like, really, it's something new for me. I enjoy talking so much. Even when I have challenges with words, it still be such a joy. And if you want something in the middle that will be representing you, your heart that accept and suck in all these energies, all these beautiful love opportunities, please do so. See what will be the best color for you, because I don't want you to leave this hole like a donut. It's allow everything to be absorbing, like every opportunity is going, and you will not just observe, but express it as well. When your love tank is empty, there is nothing you can give. But when you have enough, you can share, you can be very generous, you can be very creative in the way you can work. It's really like when you have nothing to give, all to learn all these foreign languages will be nightmare. It will be very challenging. So you need to take care of yourself before you start trying to experiencing anything like this. You're doing it, even if you start learning something, you do it for yourself, not for somebody else, but to yourself, to feel your love thing. And when you have enough, everything will seem so easy. Everything will seem so natural. And it's a very beautiful way to live. And you don't have to be thinking about translation. Okay, so how should I show them that I love them? Like, it's not a burden. It's just a way to really, what's new I can experience today, how they will react to this, how they will react to that. It's again, this could be playful, but playful only when you have enough energy to play with this, because it's not always an option. When you have barely enough to survive, it's very important that you take care of yourself, do bare minimum before you start giving something. Like, I would really highly recommend, if it's your language is quality time, give yourself some quality time where you can reactivate some energy potential. If you purchase something, like, or give yourself a gift that you will inspire you. Gift could be some subscription for some classes, or to buy some book and maybe learn some skills that's important for you. This is a gift as well. If it's act of service, do something for yourself. I don't know. Some people get relaxed when they reorganize a wardrobe or clean their house. Like, this is really give them pleasure. Or hire somebody who can do it for yourself. See what's it's another gift that you can give yourself, like, hire people. And I cannot say that it's easy, but it's if you tried already everything and nothing is working, try this one. Use it as an experiment. Use it as an opportunity to learn your partner better, to learn yourself better, and see how it's working for you. I believe we all can do it. And this Mandala of Love will help us. And again, when we express the colors beyond the mandala, inspire people around you, like, express your love to other people, and you see how the mandala is really becoming bigger when we express it, when we share it. There will be so many opportunities for you to connect to other people and share love with them differently. And just pay attention what is really important for other people. Like, see what they're talking about, what they remember from different situations in their lives. It's I'm like very curious about people. Like, people really tells a lot. People learn a lot about themselves, and they express their personality through the clothes, through the words, through the way they moving as well. Everything is just talking about. Please read me, listen to me, understand me without much words, that we can be connected to everybody. And when we tried to to use standards for everybody, like uniforms and some standard household items and everything, it's really killing the personality. It's really killing the very important language to express your personality.
Anna,
I'm not sure.
this is what I have so far.
Okay. Very gentle needle. Like I love how it's like there's so many lines, but express the colors as well. Be more connected. Like, yeah, I love very green outside.
Yeah. I haven't decided the center color yet, but
yeah, just trust what it wants to be. Maybe it's one of those colors that you have, or maybe it's something different. I have a golden color here. So, and don't hesitate to express the colors, and not necessarily green ones, but it can be like extended colors from the needle and from the center. So it's
are we going to do field lines?
Yes, of course. Okay. It's always we always activate synchronicity with the universe. It's one of the biggest resources available for us. We use it as an inspiration. Okay, so my first mandala, love mandala, is a little bit intense. I hope it will be a little bit gentler. Usually it takes me like 2-3 drawings to express this intensity and find this gentle side of me. We'll see. You will have an opportunity to see all of them. And if you want to, like if you want to bring bigger circles, you can bring even other people in your surroundings. Like if you want to invite in your life people who will be affected by your love, which is like many people could be, so you can bring them in your environment around the mandala, or maybe even already in the mandala, somewhere in the middle. Because all these opportunities to recognize love, to recognize effort that people do to express their love, is usually coming from people. Sometimes it could be from pets. But people, we're looking mostly for people connection, for society connection, group of people, or just maybe your parents, or maybe your partner, or your children, or your friends. You can show them like more, or bring more of them in your surroundings. See, and now I really want to start shining. I want to just experience this. See if you want to do it. Like if your tank of love is full, if you want to shine, or if you don't, see if it's really matter for you. I think it's a very good opportunity for me to start shine. Wait, I want to use some different instruments. And again, if you are going to do some shining, like a sun, the rays can be different colors, not necessarily just color of your inner circle. It could be any colors that you really want to express. Okay. Something that you want to share, because when we have a lot, we can share a lot. We can really be, it's not a burden anymore, it's really a pleasure. So allow yourself what you want. Okay. Ooh, it's a little bit too much. I did not expect it will be so much. Maybe it will be some. Okay, if I already started, we'll see. Kind of did not expect so much. Let's see if I can blend it in. So, like golden red circle. It's really spiced things up. See, that's really. Okay. See if I can. Okay, we'll see. Maybe I'll just do some field lines from my center, red field lines, and integrate this, because that's a little bit. Ooh, I did not want it to shine so bright. Maybe I want to smooth things up. It took me out of guard. this red color. We'll see. You can use black color for field lines. Field lines can go across like your mandala, or you want go it from inside out. So see which way you want, which way is more comfortable for you. Interesting how it turns to be. Did not expect that it will be such a, at the end there will be such a dramatic change. Everything seems so intense enough. Okay, so I'm trying to blend everything with, so it will be not, will be gentler, because gentler for me first of all. See. This is an example that nothing in Neurographica could be ruined. You just need to find a way how to integrate it with the rest of the drawing. See how it's, and integration is through rounding corners. It really helps. Round. Okay. Something that is I wasn't aware, like even red, there is no red is not on my language, but somehow it's a dominant in this drawing become. So it's interesting message for me. We'll see. I hope my other two will be gentle. I will be very careful with red color. Very interesting. The more I color, like the more I integrate red, the more I'm like, oh, so much energy. How to integrate it gently. Maybe I need to take another color. Let me first finish this red, and I will see if I want to. Yes. read some. So I wanted to ask you, what's new for you learned today about yourself?
Do you mean from the drawing today or from in general?
It could be in general.
I have felt really uplifted lately. I had heard that this time that we're in really asks for us to work on a root chakra. So I did root chakra yoga, and then I listened to
Here it is on my drawing. Root chakra. Yeah, all red. Really
There you go.
Really activated it.
Yeah, you did. And then I did I listened to this amazing meditation, getting into the vortex before going to sleep, and I had the most amazing dreams, and had a dream where I literally started flying. And it was I was willfully doing it. I was choosing to do it, and it was like I had just learned that I could do this, and so I was practicing it. But I was like at a party, other people were around, and as I was taking off and going into the sky, I could hear, "I told you she could fly." Couldn't help but really love that dream.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there are some dreams, like I used to have many dreams when I was flying.
Very unusual for me. Very unusual. I think that I can only probably think of maybe 3 times in my life I've had a flying dream.
I'm glad you experienced it. It's very beautiful to experience such freedom.
And I woke up with so much peace and so much happiness, and it was beautiful.
So as a child, I fell off the window from this, almost from the 3rd floor.
Oh.
So I experienced flying in my life.
Oh, gee.
Physical one. There was nothing really broken. It seems like angel just took me and put me on the ground. But it's, yeah. It was an interesting experience for my parents, for sure.
Oh, I can only imagine. My mom was traumatized by my drinking Visine at 3 years old and going into a coma.
Oh my, root chakra is really activating. I'm like really trying to see what I can do. Like, let's do it, because it's a gold, and let's just play with this and see how it integrates. Like, there's nothing to lose anymore. I did not expect it, so I'll just experience my creative desires. Okay. This is when you want to shine. This is how it's really could be unpredictable. So be aware what you're wishing for. So it's interesting. And I usually love red. Like, red is one of my, used to be my favorite colors. But it's, I did not expect, okay. That wants to be circle, okay.
And for field, I always forget how to say those, field lines or lines.
Field lines, yeah, field lines, connection with the universe, Yes,
Yeah.
you can do them from the middle because it's a mandala. So you can like create like rays of that expressing from the center to the edges. And or you can just go with the flow, like create them and just from one corner to another that they going through your
So if it's from the center, should we use the black one that we draw?
yes,
or...
I would recommend just to use the same color for lines. I'm honestly trying to save what is already affected by my desire to shine, and I just need to find the right way how to implement on my drawing. It's really first try did not worked well. And it requires a lot of challenges and times to integrate, even if it will be some golden lines. It need to be waved in the whole drawing. It's not just lines. So I would not recommend to use a metallic, but metallic is the easiest way to go over any other colors. So this is the only reason I use it right now. And so if you want to simpler solution, the black marker will be much easier to integrate. I used to love a lot metallic markers, and I use sometimes them, still use them, but it's much less than it used to be in my first time, like first years of Neurographica, because they just require so much skills to be integrated. They look nice, but just harder to work with. Because if we don't integrate them, they like existing like beautiful, but foreign on your drawing. It's interesting. It seems like I invited in my reality some new language, completely foreign. And it's when you think that like you had enough on your plate, something else wants to be appeared. We'll see. I don't know what it's representing. And I'm honestly trying just calm down all this overwhelming red color that somehow my subconsciousness decided to use it. And my consciousness is trying to save it. Okay. We'll see. That's quite a development of drawing. Everything seems so nice and so beautiful. And now it's opportunity to make it even more beautiful. So they're creating completely new layer of shapes and new mandala on top of it. It's definitely not what I expected. Okay. So it's an intuitive process, and you have to trust. Like, even if it doesn't make some sense at some point, you just trust and see where does it lead you. Maybe this is what you need right now. Some. Some golden language, maybe, I don't know. What is the language of love that could be golden? Something new to learn. Maybe there are 6 languages, not 5.
Anna, the same class will be held on
Friday? Yes.
Friday and Sunday, or
It's Russian is a Saturday evening. So
Okay.
in Seattle, it's 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
In Russia, like I do it for Siberia. So in Siberia, it will be 10 a.m. on Sunday. So it's a 14 hours difference. And it's, the intention was to do it for my hometown. And it's there is some huge time difference. We'll see. Maybe I'm thinking if time will be adjusted in maybe different days, so I have more opportunities to spend time with my family. We'll see. Right now, it's still I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. Saturday will be definitely as scheduled. Okay. Okay, girls, I have to say there is more languages of love. We see it is like golden. It's really look interesting, and it will be much more. And everything is connected. When it's interesting how everything is really connected, all these levels. There is no layers anymore. Everything seems just pouring out. I don't know. Maybe we discovered something new meaning in life. I don't know. I don't give any interpretation right now because I have none. I'm so focused on the process. I'm like, but I love the way it started looking after I worked on it. It makes more, and it's my body starts relaxing, because at the beginning was like, oh my gosh, it's definitely not what I expected.
Have you ever experienced the same feeling before with other drawings?
Yes, Yeah. Oh, I ruined my some drawing, like not ruined, like all. There is a very important drawings in my collection that was at the moment like, oh my gosh, it's better just be thrown away. I cannot show them to anybody because they just not satisfactory for so satisfying for me. And I kept and I found that it's actually the best opportunities to start to be creative. When you have nothing to lose about your drawing, you start trying some new techniques or new materials, and most of them are become my favorite one. I have one of the drawings, like I keep repeating about it, that it's representing my lifetime, and that drawing went through several layers of changes, significant changes, and at some point I was like really hate is a strong word, but really did not like the way it looked. Like very similar experience as I had when I like did this red, powerful, very powerful rays, and it's so I'm like, okay, let's try to save it, like see how I can be satisfying with this, like how I can be find the joy in something so powerful. What kind of ingredients does it need? So, and it's what usually surprised me that when you have this intense drawings, it's like very dark drawing sometimes. When you use on top of it some white marker or some golden or silver, something very light, it's the only way you can use it, like when you use it on top of something dark. And it gives so much texture, and it gives such interesting effects. And it's always the joy is first of all from the process, but from the ability that you can create beauty from something that really was seems like waste. And usually it always happens for me with some very important, very emotional topics. Like Mandala of Love is emotional, is a very big topic for me. How to experience, how to express it. It's a very, I think it's a very big topic for everyone. We have a like marathon right now, and I would say quite a significant amount of people, especially in Russian group. We have two groups, English speaking and Russian speaking, drawing about relationship and marathon about transforming relationships in their lives. And relationships are showing up in most of those drawings. Like sometimes people start drawing about money and relationships still be appearing because it's an important aspect of our life. So love is important.
Anna?
Yes.
This is one of my uglier pictures that I've been working on, and I just wanted to check in with you and see what you thought.
Do you remember what was the topic?
Releasing trauma.
Releasing trauma.
It could be why it's ugly.
So first of all, pay attention how spiky
I noticed
are. So
yeah, and I've tried to make it better, and I feel like it's not getting better.
extend them with lines, more lines, skinny lines. Take very skinny marker and try to go along them and make them like very, like hundreds of those lines. Just dissolve them in those lines.
Yeah.
Because, and it's interesting how you, like you did the middle, you did the outline, and the protective shell, you don't really, did not color anything.
This started to look like kind of an oyster with a pearl. It's almost like a mouth with a pearl in it. So I see it as the pearl of wisdom that I gained from my work that I walked away from. And a flower here with, like, I tried to bring in stuff that, you know, I gleaned from it, I think. But yeah, it's an uncomfortable one for sure.
It's letting go. It's a very, so bring more like skinny lines. It will be gratitude lines, not filled lines, but the gratitude skinny lines. It really helps too.
And then I've got one other.
One another.
This one I'm starting to like more and more, but
it's yeah, like but see how many compared to this you like. This is of course there are some topics that we challenging for us, very challenging. And I would say like there still be such a intense catharsis in the middle. So expand it even more with lines. Go from the middle and expand.
Okay.
And see, maybe it's something will be shifted for you. Like even if just stay in drawer for a while, maybe you, like with all the drawings, we reach some point, we need to integrate it for a while and come back to it.
Yeah. This is definitely an older one. This one's from the beginning of May.
Oh, that's like really long time.
That's why you see how different my
yes,
stuff
yeah. But I always save all my drawings, even if I don't like them much, or like, okay, so this is okay. I save them as a opportunity later to look at them and see like, wow, so much accomplished, so much changed. Even if I draw about the same topic, it's much easier, it's much more pleasant.
Yes.
And I don't really have this heaviness and overwhelm related to it. So maybe it's enough for you to step for some level and be gentle to yourself. Don't force anything. See when it will be presented opportunity to go next level. It's opportunity will be presented for sure.
And I think I'm not sure, I may have done some more work on this one since I showed you last. I just want this one to be at peace.
Okay. Do you feel that it's shifted? This was, is it Ho'oponopono or is it grief?
Yeah, this was grief.
Grief, I remember, yeah, I remember yours, like it's too, I love how big support you have on sites, like really big support. And it's very, very powerful, and it's very fluent. The flow between two of those is very important, very powerful.
Yeah. It looks like a bunch of fish coming to support from each side. I don't know why, they just all look like fish to me.
Good. Fish brings wherever we have fish, it means there is water, and water wash out our emotions, and it's very. I'm glad.
Yeah, it felt right. It felt right, and this kind of feels like a heart, a little bit.
Very hot heart, very noticeable. There's a very strong heart. Nice. See how everything is fluent here. There is no much stagnation before, like two prior ones. There is a separation between segments, and there is a stagnated. Some of the segments are not really connected to the sides, and this is maybe very challenging, emotionally challenging to experience. But sometimes just observing your experience is healing enough.
Yeah, I wanted this to be a nice flow, a nice, I wanted it to be very peaceful.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a long time. Like how many months do you draw already? From April? It's April, May, June, almost like
these things are all over my walls. Here, let's see if you can see. Hold on, there's some. Can you see them?
Yes, yes, I see on the door.
And then I have more over there.
Nice. Yeah, I see mandala as well. Yeah.
I leave them out so I can look at them and see if I need to change anything or add anything or the ones I just really love. I really love that, the one with the kind of lizard looking face.
Like, I remember. So it's actually you charging your space with the energy, because all of them, like, there is so much realizations and insights and emotions invested in it. So you, I believe they become protecting amulets, or I don't know, some important guardians of your space that will represent your energy, your emotions, and big transformations in some of the topics. So it's very...
And healing, and how far I've come. They remind me of that. They remind me of that.
Accomplishments, yeah. Achievements, emotional achievements, and creative achievements as well. It's very important to slow down and celebrate what we achieved already, because we are so in rush to go set up next goal and bigger and faster, and we're moving, and it's and I'm one of the and I'm one of the worst in this case. But how we can cherish and praise for what we accomplished already. It's okay. It's really good point. Look at my golden sun now. It's still be a little bit intense, but it's much better than I just read. I'm really enjoy it more now. Cannot say that like I'm satisfied 100%, but it's definitely better than.
But it's absolutely shining, you know.
Yeah, it's sun. I want it to shine. Here is opportunity, but that to shine it right way, maybe it should go through the ugliness, some, or intensity, not ugliness, but some intensity that is really could be even overwhelming, I would say.
Can I show you mine?
Yes, please. Yes.
It's hard to.
Oh, I love how, first of all, how compared to the size of the paper, your mandala is big. So I'm glad that you are big here. So, and how bright it is. It's interesting that outline is the most gentle color than anything inside. So
yeah, because I think the biggest circle is it's very light green. Yeah, and I like it, so I choose it this color for something that is big. And to be honest, I just, when I finished that, I figure out that I really don't like the blue color, and it's the smallest of the smallest circle for the blue. Without
so the blue is a gift?
No, the blue is act of service.
Act of service.
Yeah, but I thought the biggest one is the most important.
So this is an experiment. So we'll see if it really makes sense to you or not. So try to do the quiz and see if it will be aligned with this.
Yeah, that's right.
Or not.
Yeah,
because,
I will do the quiz and I will post on Facebook if it's right what I did today.
Even if it's not, let me know, because it's always interesting how it's really working for. We learn from our mistakes. If we don't do mistakes, it's what's the opportunity to learn?
Yeah, we can learn. Yeah, if we don't have mistakes, we won't be moving for
and
growing.
definitely the subject of love is one of the great opportunities to learn. We make so many mistakes in that one. I love how strong you have field lines and how they organically integrated with the rest of the mandala. So
yeah,
good.
but when I saw your golden one, I thought maybe I want a gold too. Because
yeah, I usually use the golden one when I mess something to fix it.
But I feel like when it's golden one and it's like from the center out, it's like a sun, yeah, and it's like let me see, find the right word in English.
Like a ray of light.
Yeah, like you expressing, you just like the sun is shining and giving. So this is the way, like what I see.
Yeah, like this is like right now I can see it as well, because I prefer golden than bright red. So thank you for sharing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anna. I have to go. My son is waiting.
Okay, so thanks for attending.
Thank you for the class. I really enjoyed it. And it was a great experience. And maybe I will join another classes as well. For the same subject that I never done before.
We'll see. Maybe next time it will be completely different mandala. So
I will join after I do the quiz and see how the mandala will be different. Hopefully. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the sun and.
Thank you for reminding about sun.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so how are you doing?
Oh, I'm
like your current one?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna, do some finishing touches on it and do the details, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I finished mine. I'm really a little bit more relaxed with after.
This is what I have so far, and then I can let you go.
Okay.
You can spend time with your family.
Wait, I don't see you somehow.
Oh, where did I go? My whole thing went. What happened?
I don't know.
Oh no!
It seems like you have camera turned on, but you
unpin video. No. Am I back?
Not much. Let me see if I can do. Oh, here you are. Let's do. Okay. So I love how more circles you have. You have like very beautiful circles and very colorful. So yeah, again, expand. And I love strong field lines. Like they really like roots, strong roots to ground and connect to everything. But again, expand more colors outside. They not necessarily green ones, but any colors, maybe some colors that related to those circles that you have already external. So, and just recognize more opportunities. So,
okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking your friend to post her drawing. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was really powerful. It was powerful for her. So I'm really glad that she was able to get that in front of you.
Okay. Okay, have a great day. Thanks a
too.
lot for joining. And Friday we will repeat this experiment and see maybe something new we'll learn about ourselves and about our love languages. Have a great day, everybody. And
All right.
bye.
Bye, Anna.